Hello, my name is Megan Ortiz, and I am a DePaul Sociology senior. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Rob Peters. He is an alumni sharing knowledge mentor and a marketing alumni. Mr. Peters, he is the founder and CEO of Standard of Trust Group, and he is Mr. Peters, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, Megan?
Good, good, thank you. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your advice. So we'll just go ahead and get started. So as a college student, I'm often told to network and connect with other professionals. What kinds of relationships do you recommend that students form with other professionals?
Before I answer that question, it might help the audience to understand kind of my perspective of the world we're in. I believe that how we connect, how we collaborate, how we deepen loyalty, engender trust, keep promises, and what I like to say, earn relationship capital, both online and offline, is now the strategic source of sustainable advantage. What that means is for those individuals who want to build greater relationships, more connected relationships, more trusted relationships, be yourself. Be clear about your purpose. If you're not sure about your purpose, think about that. What is your mission statement? If you think about what, for me, it's to make a difference by serving my community, by capturing and measuring relationship capital, and all the standards and principles behind that. So if you can be clear when people talk to you in an elevator or at a cocktail party or at the DePaul networking event, man, you're going to stand out by just being very clear about what you're looking for and what you're about.
Definitely, I agree. I know that nowadays, a lot of students are always told to, you have to have a personal brand and your professional brand. However, I definitely agree that, just being yourself and coming off as real definitely makes a strong mark in the community. So definitely agree with what you're saying.
And to your point, Megan, I don't believe personal and business are separate anymore. See, I don't think you should have a separate business brand and a separate personal brand. Those worlds don't exist, because if we think that we have separate communities, then we're going to act differently in our personal life than in our business life. And I know the millennials and the Gen Ys don't respect people who say that. Have you ever been to a eulogy where they said he was a ruthless businessman by day but a devoted father? Well,
yeah.
That doesn't cut it with most of the millennials, and in fact the baby boomers don't respect it anymore. So you need to be the same in your personal and professional life, and if you are, then people will naturally gravitate and they'll trust you better, and you'll be able to accomplish more and attract more opportunity.
Definitely, I agree. You can also, you'll also be surprised how much, you'll find in common with that person just by being yourself. So I know you're a strong advocate of using, trustworthiness to form strong business relationships. So what are the most important things professionals need to do in order to build those solid relationships?
Well, I look at myself, and it was about, I believe, 12 years ago, I was on a panel, the DePaul MBA Association, and I was asked a question, what's your top values? What are your guiding principles? And in 2002, I couldn't answer that question. I went home that night saying, why aren't I clear about my values, my guiding principles? And that made me think about, my behavior is basically driven. I try to do what I say and act accordingly. Be honest, be accountable, be responsible, respect everyone, be supportive, be proactively trustworthy. These are some of the values that I try to live by, and when we develop this open standard of relationship capital, by which, really it's trustworthiness on steroids. If you knew that your commitments were going to be accounted for, especially in business, you're being judged. But if you knew that that was going to get tracked and it was going to be seen by people everywhere around the world online, you'd be very mindful of keeping those commitments. So that's kind of what I'm about, is really the values behind this measurement. And I believe if you're clear about your values, you'll be the law of attraction. You'll attract opportunity. You'll attract people who respect people who are clear about their values and act accordingly.
That's great. That's a great reminder. Now, we're often told that relationship building, should be about helping others. However, as a student, with limited experience and relatively, small network, how can students offer value and and building a relationship with other professionals?
Well, I believe that the way we assess businesses and business leaders and professionals on relationship capital is around 4 attributes: good intent, character, competence, and proactive trustworthiness. First of all, good intent. When you meet someone for the first time, do you have good intent towards them? Or are you trying to manipulate them to get your way? That's a very dangerous behavior. No one wants to be manipulated. In fact, that'll go across the social media and you'll build a bad reputation. Do you have character? It gets back to the integrity that I talk about. Do you behave differently when you're not being seen as if you know you're being seen? So I think integrity is a character of your, which, the values I talk about, that's an important aspect. Competence. I'm about applying this to business. So those people looking to get work or just got a job, you have to be competent at your job. So your purpose, if you are clear about your purpose, the highest performing people have the highest purpose. That drives their mastery. Not because they want a boss that gives, fear of a bad performance appraisal, but because they don't want to let the team down. So their higher purpose drives their mastery, drives their competence. And finally, don't wait for people to ask. Don't just proactively look after their interests. If you know someone needs something, if you're reacting to their needs and you know that they need something, go make that connection. Solve their problem. Help them do some research online. Don't wait. Be proactive. These are the components, I believe, that'll distinguish you and allow you to thrive in an ever-changing, digitized world.
That's great. Those are great for, good components to use, on a daily, and definitely I think students should use those. So do you have any final thoughts on how students can build, those good habits to build that relationship capital?
Well, being a mentor to DePaul's Ask program, get a mentor, whether it's DePaul's or get a coach. In a world that's changing rapidly, it's good to have an outside person not solving your problems, but asking you the questions that make you think, and judging. You kind of self-critique with an outside coach asking you questions. Maybe someone who's a little bit more senior, but the mentor and the mentee, the coach and the coachee, these people both benefit from the relationship. So I believe having a coach is best practices, or a mentor. So that's one. 2 is get clear about what your higher purpose, your mission, and your values are. Technology is just a tool. You have to use the technology to keep a job, to get a job, but to me it's about getting clear about yourself. So now you got to go reach in and look at yourself and know what your strengths are and know what your weaknesses are. But my opinion, don't worry about the weaknesses. If you're just aware of your weaknesses, then you'll work with other people who have those strengths. Be very cognizant of what you're good at and continue to hone that. Continue to improve those strengths. Leverage what you're good at and try to find a job or career that leverages those strengths, combined with your values, combined with your higher purpose. I believe is going to be a sustainable model for success.
Great. I definitely agree. I think, being authentic and being real is key here. So thank you so much for your valuable insights. We're so lucky to have Ask Mentors like you who share their time and wisdom with us. So to my fellow students watching, you can get a chance to learn more about Mr. Peters from a relationship building workshop in the fall quarter. So please check out the Ask website at ask.depaul.edu for any more information. So thank you again, Mr. Peters.
Thank you, Megan. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.